What's up, y'all? Today we got a calf specific exercise. We're going to be working ankle dorsiflexion in a straight knee position. For equipment, all you need is a slant board or an elevated surface. You can use a rock or maybe a ledge. And then for balance, I'm using the mobility sticks, or you could just lean up against the wall. Starting off, we got cars right here. 8 full reps, trying to make the biggest circle we can pointing our toes without moving the shin or the upper leg. All the movements coming from the ankle. Once we've done 8, we're going to reverse it and we're going the other direction. All the movements coming from the ankle, nice big circles. Try to have a smooth circle the entire time. Switching it up, we got the other leg. Same pace, no glitches, no fast forwards, nice smooth big circles. Once we've done 8, we switch directions. Keeping that knee straight, locked out. Trying not to move from that upper leg or that shin bone. All right, going back to the first leg, keeping that leg straight, we're going to pull the toes up towards the shin, and then we gas pedal down. So pulling the toes up is dorsiflexion, gas pedaling down is plantar flexion. We got 8 full reps, trying to go through our fullest range of motion. Switching it over, same thing. Full range of motion, gas pedal down, pull those toes up. This is specifically to translate to what we got here going on with our stretch on the slant board. We're going to be working more dorsiflexion, pulling those toes towards the shin. All right, getting into that stretch position, we want to make sure our foot stays in contact with the slant board. We don't want our heel to lift up. Finding a good stretch that's manageable for you. Obviously, I can adjust the slant board to increase the intensity of the stretch, but you can also lean over that leg more to intensify that stretch. But make sure it's manageable. We're gonna have to hang out here for a little bit of time. Big, slow breaths. And we'll feel this stretch kind of all the way down the back of that lower leg. So maybe starting at the knee all the way down. Trying to target that calf. So right now I'm working that left ankle, stretching that left calf, and my right leg is just hanging off to the side. You can put it on the floor or you can suspend it to get more of a stretch. And we don't want balance to be an issue, so feel free to use a wall or prop yourself up with something. I got those sticks, so whatever works best for you. And we're gonna hang out here in a passive stretch for 2 minutes. Big slow breaths. All right, getting ready for round one. Build some tension in the core, drive those dowels into the floor, and we start to gas pedal into that board. Pretend there's a weight scale underneath that foot and it's starting to get heavier and heavier, building up to your greatest, safest effort. We're going to hold this 10 seconds. Drive down, press, press, press. Keeping that upper body and that lower body in the same position. We don't want to move. And now we reverse. We try to lift off of that slant board, try to bring the toes closer to the shin. We're not moving. That weight scale under the foot says 0. Lifting, lifting. Hold this. And then slowly parachute down. Let that intensity go. Big, slow breaths. If you want to increase the range of motion a little bit, you can lean forward. Just make sure the back of the heel stays glued to the slant board. And we're breathing, recouping, getting ready for round two. All right, getting ready for round two. Big inhale. Brace the core. Drive those dowels down. Start to gas pedal into that slant board. Gradually building up to our greatest, safest effort. That weight scale reads max. Driving down. Press, press, press. Hold that greatest, safest effort. Hold that. And then we switch, try to lift off, don't switch your body position. Try to pull those toes closer to your shin, pulling deeper into a stretch. Keep that knee straight. Lifting, lifting. And slowly start to release that effort. And relax, big belly breaths. Recover here. We've done 2 rounds at this point, so if you're new to this, you could always stop here, listen to your body, but we got 1 more round coming up. If this is all you need for that side, you can skip over to the next part for the next leg. Here we go, last round. Big breath in, brace the core, build tension throughout the body, driving down, and then gas pedal into that slant board, ramping up, ramping up, ramping up. Get to your greatest, safest effort, and hold. Driving down, crush that slant board. That weight scale is reading the heaviest it can. Press down, press down. Stay in that same position and start to reverse. Lift off that weight scale. Try to lift the foot off that slant board. You're not going to be able to. Lifting, lifting, pull deeper into that stretch. And then slowly let that go. Sink it back to that passive stretch. Big slow breaths. We got to hang out here and recoup for a little bit. Big slow breaths. Slowly, slowly, you can start to back out of that stretch. So real quick, I'm just demoing kind of what this looks like with that other leg just hanging off to the side. You can either just suspend it off the air, or you can place that foot on the ground for a little bit of support. Riverside, flip it over. Working the right leg now. Keeping that leg straight, heel in contact with the slant board. Leaning forward until we find a good stretch in that calf. Once we're there, start to take big, slow breaths, trying to relax into that passive stretch. Remember, if the stretch is too intense, back out a little bit because we got to spend some time here. And then we can always try to sink a little bit deeper after the pushing and pulling the pails and rails. Big, slow breaths. Right now we're just focusing on our big slow breaths, keeping that foot flat against the slant board. Don't let the heel lift off, sinking into that deep passive stretch. All right, getting ready for round one. Big breath in. Squeeze those abs, tension driving the dowels into the floor, and we start to gas pedal down. Start with light effort and then build. Feel that calf working. Gas pedal, gas pedal, gas pedal. Make that weight scale weigh the heaviest as it can, and then hold this greatest, safest effort, driving down. That weight scale is so heavy right now. Keep driving. And then we flip it. Try to peel those toes off the slant board. You're not going to be able to, but lift, lift, lift. That weight scale reads 0. Keeping that knee straight, pulling deeper into that stretch, and then slowly, slowly let that go. We're back into our passive stretch and big, slow breaths. Hanging out here, 40 seconds, recoup. Maybe you can lean into a little bit more range of motion. We could just lean over that leg just a little bit more, sink it into a deeper range of motion. All right, here we go, round 2. Big breath, build tension throughout the body, heels glued down, slowly start to drive down, gas pedal into that slant board, building up, make that weight scale weigh heavier and heavier and heavier. We're at max effort and hold. Calf is lit up right now, driving down, tension is braced. And then flip it. Now try to pull those toes off the slant board, lift off that weight scale, pulling deeper into that stretch, keeping the knee straight, lifting off that slant board. Keep lifting. Hold that, hold that. And then slowly, slowly start to let that effort go. Back to our big breaths. Sinking into that passive stretch. Recoup right here. We got round 3 coming up. Remember, listen to your body. If you're feeling pretty taxed after those first 2 rounds, call it here for today, and then you can always add another round later on. Maybe next time you're training next week. Big slow breaths. Keep breathing, sinking into that stretch. Round 3, here we go. Big breath, build tension throughout the body, and we slowly start to gas pedal down. Building up, make that weight scale way heavier underneath that right foot, and hold that greatest effort. Greatest, safest effort. Drive down, press, 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 all from that calf. Switch that effort, try to pull those toes closer to the chin, lifting off that slant board, pulling deeper into that stretch. That weight scale's reading 0, keep lifting, keep lifting. Hold that effort. And then slowly start to let that go. Going back to that passive position, big slow breaths. Hanging out here in this passive position, recoup. Try to relax the body as much as you can. All right, slowly start to back out of that stretch. We made it. All right, real quick, gonna demo the next exercise we got. We got kinetic stretching. So here we're gonna drive up as high as we can, try to get the heel away from that slant board, and then we're gonna try to pull ourselves back down, actively pulling ourselves down and then raising back up. We're gonna alternate for 10 reps. Here, whenever we drive up, we wanna make sure the heels don't move away from each other. So I'm showing you a bad rep right here. Try to keep the heels from drifting away at the top. One thing you can do to negate that is you can put a yoga block or maybe a small tennis ball in between those heels. Whatever object you got around, you can start to crush that object in between the heels, and then we do our calf raises. All right, here we go. We got 8 reps. Keeping those legs straight. We're gonna drive up, picking those heels up off the slant board as high as we can, feel those calves work, and then we reverse. We start to pull ourselves actively down into that bottom position. Switching gears, drive back down. Once we start to lower, you're actively trying to pull yourself back down, lifting off that slant board, but we don't actually lift off. And then we drive back up. If this is feeling too intense, you can always lean back a little bit to make the stretch less intense. Find a position that's manageable for you. Legs are staying straight the entire time. And we have tension in the core, tension throughout the whole body. Driving up, actively driving up, and then we reverse, actively pulling ourselves down into that bottom position. Find that stretch. Keep working. Keep fighting. This is our last rep. Once we get to that top position, hold that top position. We got 10 seconds staying here. Try to keep those heels up as high as we can. Squeeze those calves. Hold this, hold this. Staying tall, legs are straight. And then keep fighting. Now we reverse, start to pull yourself down. Glue those heels to the board and then try to pull deeper into that stretch. 10 seconds here. Pull, pull, pull. Staying in that stretch. Holding this. And then slowly start to let that effort go. Winding down that intensity. And we can start to back out of that position. Going back to our cars, keeping that leg locked out, and we're moving that ankle in a big circle. Trying to draw the biggest circle with our toes. Not moving the knee or that upper leg. All the movements coming from that ankle. We're going to do 8 full reps. And then once we've done 8, we reverse it and we're going the other direction. Legs completely straight to minimize any movement from that upper leg. It's all happening at the ankle. Nice, slow, big circles. And then we'll flip it over. Right leg, same thing. Lock that leg out nice and straight. And then we got big circles from that ankle. Tilting in, gas pedal down, tilt out, pulling up. Shin bone is nice and straight. No movement from that upper leg. 8 full reps and then we switch directions. Couple more reps. And that's it. Great job, y'all. We're done.